Hello and welcome to RaccRacing once again. We are here today with the OPE Racing League in their 9th race at Red Bull Ring. We are going to have a 45-minute endurance race in the GT3 category. It's going to be a fun yet chaotic one today, so let's go ahead and get into it. Due to some issues in qualifying, we're going to go ahead and start the day off with a random placement grid. We're going to go on board with Gage at the start as he gets into a little bit of trouble not having a quick release. He's going to get sandwiched in, which is going to cause some chaos for the cars in the back. And up front as well, John is going to take a little bit of a shunt to the rear end as we see some cars go flying off in the back. As you can see above, it is overcast skies with a very cold track at 32 degrees Celsius, 18 degrees Celsius in the air. We have a dry track after our qualifying and practice sessions being in the wet, so the drivers are going to be a little mixed up on their lines. As we make our way past those pre-turn 1 incidents, the pack finds their rhythm now as they get into pace. Schwizzers is off to a strong start here. He's leading the pack by about a second and a quarter. Definitely a good way to start the race. We've got a couple of drivers here today representing the GTR with Nissan. Definitely a nice, beautiful car with that wide body kit. GI holding on to that third place position for now, but Captain and Gatsy are chasing after him from behind, and Raccoon is also behind those two as well. The pack is thicker than ever at the start of this race. Let's hope it keeps going. A great pull away for Captain here as he goes down the front stretch again. Raccoon trying to stick it up the inside, but not quite having the speed on the exit. It's also going to lead to Gage back there being able to pull up next to him. A thick pack here as we come up to the hairpin. Let's see how they'll spread out. Raccoon's doing his best to keep ahead. Will he come out on top? Oh, it looks like our camera is having a little bit of issues here. But he's able to stick it. He's next to Gage once again as they go into the downhill for another sharp turn to the right. And it looks like we've had some drivers go off in that turn. Gage did get ahead as he's now ahead of both Raccoon and the other drivers. But it's not over yet. The pack is still sticking it together, heading into Section 3 now. Richie in the yellow managing to sneak by in the left-right turns of Sector 3. Raccoon opting to take that inside line as he's able to pass the other two drivers. Richie doing a great job to stay ahead of that group though. Look at the front there as they box him in, but he's able to slide through loose, standing out in his car with a different livery. Looks like they're almost attempting to go 3 wide as we're on board with the Nismo. As Raccoon slides up in front of him as well, GI is overtaken. An attempt at late braking. He goes a little wide onto the curb, but not quite into the gravel. Although he is overtaken by Gage. The beautiful downshift of these cars ringing throughout the racetrack. And here they come through the fast left-right section. We'll see if he can get the draft here with Captain chasing after GI in the Nismo. Captain representing the Porsche today. And back to the front stretch that all the cars are coming down now. Some beautiful racing today despite the chaos. The whole pack is still together on the same lap, only separated by the sector themselves. Raccoon attempting a deep dive there, but having to back out, not quite having it. Cameras on this track are a little bit quirky. They don't always tend to go where you exactly want them to. But as we see here, Schwizzer just leading the race by just a second here, but he's definitely keeping a dominating lead so far. Anytime you see this glitch transition, it's because we're skipping over those weird camera angles. And Richie Bugs is heading out into third position now, gaining some paces from that chaotic start. The Goose is loose, getting chased down by the Nissan, with a few behind chasing down the rest as well. Goose making it up the inside of the turn, able to keep his position. Will they be able to catch up in the Nissan? Here we come down into the downhill. Gatsy doing a great job to hug that inside curve, making sure he has a good exit to chase after Goose is loose. These drivers are definitely giving it their all today. They had to practice and qualify in wet conditions, so being thrown onto this dry track has thrown them off. Once again, the pack still not too far apart. This is some really good racing today in this endurance race. And as we get into it, we are getting close to the random safety car of this race. We've been told it should be about 25% of the race that it will be released. Ooh, and it looks like we had a crash there as we entered the straight in the last turn. Raccoon becoming collected by the wall. Here we go into the straight after turn one. The Goose is loose, able to build up a little bit of the gap behind him now from the Nissan of Gatsy. As we join on Gage again, he's being chased down by Zingy behind in the beautiful purple car. But Gage himself also looking gorgeous with that hexagon camo style livery. But it looks like Zingy might be overtaking him after the downhill turn. Let's see how they go into the next part of this sector. Will Gage be able to keep the chase down as we're joined on the cockpit just briefly? The gap building up a little bit. It looks like Zingy may have had a better exit as the camera tries to correct itself. Here we go. Yes, Zingy is keeping that lead. And as we saw on the clock in the Audi of Raccoon, we are at about 9.5 minutes into this race now. There we go, 9 minutes and 40 seconds has just hit as we go up into the hairpin of turn 3. Looks like John is struggling to keep down the grip into that exit, allowing Schwizzer to be able to pull off into the lead further. Schwizzer giving me a hard time just to say his name, but it's a fun one for sure. And once again, we see John struggling to keep that grip down. It is not easy in the Audi, but that is our signal for the safety car. And here we go as we see it pull out. We're going to go ahead and take a break from the commentary as the cars gather together. Our safety car will make its way around the track only one more time before we go ahead and get started with this race. If you look over to the pits, Raccoon is the last one to go ahead and make a pit stop with this safety car, attempting to undercut as much as he can, knowing that he was in the back at the start. Let's go ahead and cut ahead once he makes it out of the pits. Looks like he was able to make it just in time to not be in the very back, pulling ahead of GI out of the pit. Let's go ahead and cut forward now. And with that, there will be no more interruptions to this race. That is our safety car for this race. And as we can see, True was able to take advantage of the safety car, pulling out into the front, followed by Schwizard, who's able to quickly overtake. And John's not too far behind, chasing in the Audi. Looks like we're going up 3 wide into the hairpin almost, but the braking breaks them apart. And Richie's not making less of a situation. Ooh, in contact, but McLaren stays true. Still a better start than the beginning of this race with that turn 1 incident. Let's see how our drivers handle themselves now going forward now that the pack is back together. Everyone's managing to stay on the track despite how wide we're going with the cars. And here we go, entering into the end of Sector 2 as we begin Sector 3. Lots of wheel-to-wheel racing going on this restart. This is amazing so far. And we're getting a little bit of a faraway camera here as they come up and down the straight. We have Schwizzard leading the pack, followed by Richie and John. And the rest of the pack following suit as we go nearly 3 wide in the last 2 turns here. And we join the pit crew on the wall here as we see them coming down the fence. True in that giant wing Nissan. As our camera gets itself figured out here, they enter turn 1. Nothing too crazy happening now as they're chasing into... Oh, I lied. There was somebody spinning off in the back there. Oh, and they get hit again. Maybe we're going to see a replay in a moment. Yes, we are. So let's see what's happened here with GI. So it looks like Gage attempted to go wide to avoid an incident, but then he made it through. Okay. Let's get another camera angle of that incident. Oh, and it looks like it's somebody was coming in towards the end. They collected them. Yeah, that was quite an incident from our cars here in the back. For this series, they are only running cosmetic damage in this particular race. I believe it changes depending on the race that we are doing. So in this case, even if you do get totaled, it looks like you can race on with next to no issue. As we join John on board in that colorful Audi, the number 69, nice, beautiful car. We also know on the track Raccoon is racing the same livery as well. We'll make sure not to mix up the two as we continue to watch the race. Although thankfully the two are separated at the moment, so that is fairly easy to do. Ooh, as John's going wide into that last 2 turn. The Goose attempting to make himself loose, but not breaking free quite yet to pass John in that Audi. Now, as we make our way into this point of the race, we are going to go ahead and skip ahead here shortly to about 10 minutes left in the race. But if you do want to check out everything that happens in between, go ahead and check out RaccRacing VODs here on YouTube. That way you can check out any of the action you missed. But we're going to go ahead and skip towards these last 10 minutes to see some of the biggest parts of the battle for this championship. We are back from our break with the music as we enter into the lap 25 of this race with only 10 minutes left. Zingy on board, chasing down the Gooses Loose, managing to make his way up to second from our break in that number 17. But Zingy's going to go ahead and make a dive down the inside into the hairpin. And we're joined on board with the Goose now. We're going to be chasing with the co-pilot. The cars are staying so close together, side by side, as they enter into the downhill tight turn. And it looks like Zingy is able to break free. Goose Loose now chasing ahead. It's so close together as they enter into Sector 3 here in a moment. Zingy chasing his rear end, that giant tail. As we exit the left-right section of our track, Zingy is just gunning him down as they enter the downhill of the last two turns. Exhaust pipes shooting flames, Goose going wide. And will the switchback happen as we join the pit crew once again on the fence? What an interesting and dramatic angle, and it looks like Zingy has made it past. This is some incredible racing from these two. Zingy hopping the curb just a little bit, but still within the track limits. He's bursting ahead. But Goose is not letting him break loose just yet as he's chasing him down. Both cars using that downforce of their wing excellently as we enter into the hairpin. Both going wide, not wanting to give up the racing line, wanting to be on each other through and through. As we go ahead on the onboard again, we'll be chasing down whoever is in front. Right now we're on board the 17 car with Gooses Loose. As we come close into entering Sector 3, looks like Loose might be able to get a better line, but he doesn't quite get down on it in time. Maybe getting that understeer from these tires. We pitted so early in the race, so these tires are definitely going to be dying as he enters into the gravel. As we look back to check on our other drivers, it looks like Captain is chasing down Gatsy at the moment in that Nissan. Running through Sector 3 as they race towards the last two turns of the track. We're now going to be with Captain Ahab, it looks like. It's important exiting this last turn that you maintain your speed down the straight, otherwise it's really hard to be able to get set up for the first turn. But at the moment it looks like he's falling back from Gatsy, not quite able to keep up with the pace. It's going to be an interesting last few laps that you have here today at Red Bull Ring in Spielberg. We're coming back again to the Gooses Loose, chasing after Zingy. We'll see that in a moment again, if they get closer to each other. As we take a look at the clock, we are with 2 minutes left as we enter in the 43rd minute, seeing that onboard clock in this Audi with Raccoon. We'll go ahead and scoot back to the Gooses Loose, as we said, chasing down Zingy in the Nissan. We're going to go ahead and let the camera crew do the rest of this work for this dramatic finish. Let's see how this one ends. And with that, we can see that Richie is going to go ahead and take the win for today's session. A chaotic start for him, but he's able to power through to the end. And as we saw, unfortunately for Zingy, he did take himself out into that downhill sharp corner in Sector 2, which is going to leave him in 3rd place behind the 2nd place victor. The goose is loose. He has almost been freed from his cage, nearly clawing back to the front of the pack. A great job to these 3 drivers in the top 3 spots today. And to the rest of the drivers, most of us made it to the end. Not all of us. Congratulations, and thank you for joining us in RaccRacing as we presented to you today the OPE Racing League 2025 Season 1. This was an amazing session. I've been glad to join with these guys after a few of their drivers have been racing in our specialized JCW Mini Cooper League. Hopefully we can see more of this soon. If you liked the video, do the usual: subscribe, like, share it. Go ahead and watch some of our other league videos that we showcase with my league, RaccRacing, our upcoming Twin Snakes Racing League, and soon we'll be editing and showcasing Shift E-Racing Group's Roadmaster Series in iRacing. That will be a paid league itself, but most of the races and leagues we'll be showcasing on this channel will be free to enter. That way you will have a chance to find where you can race the cars you want to race. Thank you once again for joining us, and have a wonderful day here with RaccRacing.